He could tear a lion apart with his bare hands, but he fell asleep on a woman's lap and lost everything. We all remember his strength, but history rarely asks what it cost a woman to love him. Her name was Delilah. When she enters the story, the land is already divided. Israel resists Philistine rule. Men speak of honor, men fight battles, men carry destinies. And she is not called, not chosen, not anointed. She simply lives in a world shaped by male vows and male violence. And she loves Samson, a man who was never just a man. Samson was born under a Nazirite vow. No wine, no touching the dead, no razor. He belonged to God before he belonged to himself, before he belonged to her. And imagine what that feels like, to love someone who is already claimed by destiny. He can tear apart lions. He can defeat armies. But can he choose her over his calling? That question sits quietly inside every one of her conversations with him. The Philistine rulers offer her silver. Yes, but money is not the only pressure in this story. She lives in occupied territory. She loves a man her people fear. She stands between two loyalties, and she asks him, "How can you say you love me when your heart is not with me?" That is not the voice of a seductress. That is the voice of a woman who feels emotionally abandoned. Think about it. He lies to her 3 times. He withholds. He protects the vow. And every time he does, he confirms what she already suspects. There is a part of him she will never reach. She is not competing with another woman. She is competing with destiny, with national expectation, with the role of a hero. How you win against a calling. How do you feel secure when the man you love is worshipped as a symbol? The text does not say she hated him. It does not say she laughed when he fell. It does not describe cruelty. It simply shows her asking, pressing, insisting, because maybe she was tired of being second. When he finally tells her the truth, Scripture is quiet. She made him sleep on her knees. She called a man. The man shaved his head. Notice something important. The Bible never describes her inner thoughts. It never calls her evil. It never gives her a villain speech. That silence leaves space. And in that space, history inserted blame. Delilah lives in a Philistine world. If Samson continues unchecked, there will be war. If she protects him, she risks her own security. If she exposes him, she loses him. Every choice costs her. But only one choice costs him his legend, so history remembers that one. The most intimate line in the story is this: she lulled him to sleep on her lap. This is not seduction. This is proximity. This is trust. He gives her the truth. He chooses to speak, and in doing so, he places his strength into her hands. When the hair falls, the covenant breaks, not because she forced it, but because he allowed it. Why we call her villain? After he is captured and blinded, the text moves on. Samson regains strength. He dies in a final act of glory. He becomes tragic hero. And she becomes the woman who ruined him. It is easier to blame a woman than to admit a hero was human. Easier to call her temptress than to ask why his vow was fragile. Perhaps Delilah was not greedy. Perhaps she was tired of loving a man who belonged more to destiny than to her. Perhaps she wanted proof that she mattered. And perhaps she finally received it in the most irreversible way. So tell me, was Delilah a destroyer, or was she a woman who refused to live in the shadow of a legend?